G'day everyone, if you're new here, my name's Sam, and today we're filming from home. So if you're working from home today, or you've been working from home for over 12 months, doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have a little bit of floor, there's always space to practice. Today's practice is going to be just an all-over recharge, so when you're short on time, don't let this replace your entire yoga practice, but if you're just on your lunch break, if you've got 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it may be, there's always time to find some movement. It doesn't have to be a lot to make you feel good. So we're going to try and target the whole over body today. There won't be any meditation involved, so you're absolutely welcome to pop that in at the end if you have a little bit more time. But as always, when you're ready, grab yourself your mat and we'll get right into it. So we're going to start straight up into downward facing dog today. Set the hands down, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. When you get there, feet around hip width distance apart. If you can, push through the hands to allow your tailbone to rise a little bit higher. If you can for a moment, just be still. If you notice as you look back towards your feet, your heels are rolling in towards each other. See if you can spin them away slightly so that they hide behind the balls of the feet. And with your arms nice and straight, we're going to see if that right heel can get a little closer to the floor, but really bend the left knee. So left heel will rise high, right leg will get a little bit straighter. Just taking a few breaths here, letting the back of that right leg start to lengthen. And then we'll swap. Left leg extends, right knee bends. So left heel closer to floor, right heel will rise. Let the head hang nice and heavy. Maybe move the neck from side to side so it feels like the neck is letting go, like you're not holding tension there in the back of the head. Nice way. Come back to center, reach the right leg up towards the sky, take a big breath, and then roll that right hip open. See if you can bend into the right knee here. So because we lengthen the back of the legs, maybe that left heel can stay a little closer to the floor. We'll pop up onto the right fingertips, start to gaze underneath your right armpit, so really open up through the left hip and the right hand side of the torso there. Inhale. And we'll come back through center, ground the right palm, the right foot grounds down also. And we'll reach the left leg up nice and high. Roll open that hip, bend the knee, then pop on to the left fingertips, gaze underneath that left armpit, and really let the left side of the body lift higher here. And come back through center, ground left palm and left foot, feet hip width distance apart. And we'll start to walk the hands back towards the feet. When we arrive, using the fingertips there against the earth, take a halfway lift, so lengthen from crown of head to tailbone. Inhale. On your exhale, fold over your thighs, interlace your fingers, just rest them to the back of your head for a moment. The elbows fall in towards each other. Move through the feet so you feel the weight disperse through all four sides of the foot, front, back, left, right. And then as hands drop down to the floor. Again, we'll take a halfway lift, breathe in. If you can, just start to bend the knees. See how deep your legs will allow you to go with your heels still flat on the floor. If you need to step the feet out a little bit wider there, that's completely fine. If the feet set flat, try to keep them about hip width distance apart and with the toes facing forward. So you're allowing a natural little flexion at the base of the spine there. You're allowing this stretch here in the calves and the Achilles tendons. Also great for ankle mobility to allow the knees to move forwards of the toes, so leaning forward slightly, feeling that stretch start to deepen up the back of the lower leg there. If you can, leaning backwards towards the heels, see if the toes can rise off the mat. So all tend to start with keeping the ball of the foot still grounded, especially the ball of the big toe. And just to really connect with the feet, see if you can keep the smaller 4 toes lifting, but ground down through the big toe. A little bit of a challenge there. Push down through that base, big toe mound, and lift the 4 toes off the mat. And then if you can, we'll try and swap. So 4 littler toes will ground down. We'll lift up that big toe. Again, might be a little bit challenging, but give it a try, see if it works. Nice work. Setting the big toe down, leaning forwards, let your heels rise off the mat. Rest your arms on your thighs for a moment. So you're letting your weight get heavy here on the back of your legs. Once again, to stretch out through the calves. It's also a great flexion through the knee joint. Give yourself a chance to really find that deep flexion. It's super important for the knees. We'll see how gently we can lower the knees onto the mat here. So lift the torso up, lean back slightly as the knees lower down. And we're going to try and keep the toes tucked under here, working a stretch through the bottoms of the feet. So you want your heels to start nice and close towards each other so that you're stretching out through the base of that big toe all the way down towards the heel. Now, I find this space personally really, really comfortable. I love the feeling of this stretch, but I know that not many students seem to enjoy this one. There's a lot of faces in public classes. I wish that we can make a coffee table book of all the faces people make during their yoga practice. Spin the heels away from each other. See if the pinky toes, the littler toes, can start to get a stretch. Still keeping the hips back on top of the heels, the shoulders on top of the hips. Then untuck the toes if you can, sit the hips back on top of the heels. Use the fingertips either side of your hips, lean back, just let that right knee rise for a moment, stretch out through the front of the right shin. And soften that right knee down. Lean back, see if that left knee can rise. So I'm going to try and keep the cues to a minimum today, just to really allow the mind to drop away for a moment. See if you can move into a sense of feeling. Just let the body take over. Soften the left knee down. Ground the palms, we'll step back towards a plank pose. And tuck the toes, push away from the floor, and wiggle the feet back so you get nice and long here. Firm through the glutes, feel the belly lifting away from the floor. And with your biceps wrapping forwards, we're going to take 5 push-ups together. Think of these like chaturanga push-ups, so elbows are going to draw in nice and close towards the body. Lean forwards on the toes, take a breath. Exhale, we'll lower and lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. After that 5th, lower all the way down onto the mat. Roll the shoulder blades down the back, squeeze the elbows in, and then press through the feet. Feel the knees lift. We'll find a Cobra Pose. So feeling your elbows still bending, crown of the head reaching forwards. Imagine the back of the neck was lifting up towards the ceiling here. See if you can press firm through all 10 of the toenails, inclusive of the pinky toe. So you may need to spin the heels away from one another there. It's completely fine. Take another breath. As you exhale, start to lower down. And take the fingers out wider off the mat, come onto the fingertips. Again, 10 toenails press into the earth, kneecaps rise. We roll the shoulder blades back, inhale, lift the chest. So let yourself rise. Exhale, we'll roll back down. This time ground the palms flat. Inhale, we rise, roll up. Exhale, we lower. Then third and final time, we're going to land with straight arms. Inhale, we rise, roll up. Once you lift, feel the shoulder blades descend down the back. Keep those toenails pressing into the earth, the knees lifting. And once you settle in, let your chin rise for a moment. Stretch out through the front of your throat. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop the chin towards the chest. And roll your left ear over towards your left shoulder here. Take a breath in. Exhale, we'll come back through center. And take right ear over towards right shoulder. Breathe in. Exhale, we'll take it back. Let the head rise, bend the elbows, lower, down. Nice work. Forehead's going to ground onto the mat. We're going to see if we can interlace the fingers behind the back here, just above your bottom. So if it works, palms flat, fantastic. If it's just fingers, great. We'll squeeze the shoulder blades back, slide the fists down towards the heels, and on the inhale we're going to lift the head, the chest, and the legs as well. Point through the toes. See if big toes can touch, but maybe spin those heels away from each other. If there's space, chest lifts a little bit higher, maybe the fists move away from the hips. Last breath in. Stay for the exhale. And gently release. Forehead grounds, hands down by your low ribs. Tuck your toes, lift your knees. We're going to press straight off the floor for a push-up. Take it back to downward facing dog from here. And reach your right leg nice and high. Inhale. Exhale, roll the knee into chest. Look forwards, place the right foot just inside the right thumb. Lower the back knee down onto the mat. I'm going to interlace the hands here. Press them down on top of the right thigh. And lean your hips down and forwards. Push against the thigh to lift the chest up and back. Feel the navel drawing in towards the spine. Keep those back toes tucked under if you can, just so we have some activation there in that back leg. And we'll reach the arms up, still interlacing the fingers if we can. Work to get the arms behind the line of the ears. Keeping that pistol-like grip. Index fingers point up towards the ceiling, thumbs towards the back of the room. With your inner thighs squeezing towards each other, your navel pulling into spine will lift the back knee off the mat. Driving the right thigh down deeper. Seeing if the front of that left leg can extend. Taking 2 breaths. Last inhale. And very, very mindfully, lower that left knee back down. Take the hands towards the hips. Hips move back slightly, front leg will straighten. Then work to slide the right leg forwards to a space that is comfortable. Then allow your fingertips to rest onto the earth. Extending your left leg back slightly, leaning your chest out in front of you. Take a breath. On the exhale, succumb to gravity. See if your elbows can bend, lean forwards over the length of that right thigh. Two more breaths. Last inhale. And then from here, walk your right arm out a little wider, fall off onto the right hip, and then bend up both knees. It will parallel the right shin with the front edge, left shin with the left edge. And walk the hands out over the front of that right thigh, trying to avoid the body falling off to the right-hand side. If there is space, take your left forearm to the base of your right foot and see if you can interlace your fingers. Moving your torso a little closer towards your right ankle. Just allowing yourself to settle in. Taking 2 more breaths where you are. We'll start to walk the hands back towards the body. Try to keep that right leg exactly where it is. Swing your left leg around and see if your left heel can rest underneath your right knee. So we're working to parallel the shins here. See if you can lift your bottom by pressing into the fingertips. Move the bottom back slightly. And keeping a slight flexion in both of the ankles. Walk the arms forward. Find a fold. And whatever that means for you, it might be a fold so much so that your forehead rests on the floor. You may be still upright or anywhere in between. Try to keep the back of the neck long, head dropping. Again, just working to take 2 more breaths. So noticing by now perhaps the breath has started to lengthen, and that's what we want to work towards. This concept of pranayama, of extending the life force. So essentially we want to breathe less. It's all about quality of breathing rather than quantity. Start to walk the hands back towards the body. Again, right leg will stay where it is. Take your left foot, rest it just outside your right thigh. With your left fingertips behind your hips, reach your right arm up, take a breath. As you exhale, hook that right elbow just outside the left thigh and take a gentle twist back over your left shoulder. As we take it back towards center, cross the left ankle in front of the right, squeeze the heels in, and then rest your hands down, step the feet back, or find downward facing dog. Inhaling together. Letting it out. And lifting the left leg, reaching it tall as you breathe in. Exhale, we'll set the left foot just inside the left thumb. Lower the back knee onto the mat. And then rise up, interlace the fingers just there on top of your left thigh. Leaning hips forwards and down. Pushing against the thigh to lift the chest up and back. See if you can keep a flexion in your right glute here. It will really help to release a little deeper into the front of that right hip. We'll start to reach the arms up, find that pistol grip. Arms behind the ears if possible, still leaning forwards, seeing if the thumbs can move towards the back of the room. With the back toes tucked under, lifting gently the right knee off the floor. Breathe in fully. Exhale completely. And lower the right knee down. Gently. Hands to hips. Send those hips back, straighten through the left leg. And again, an amount that feels comfortable for you will slide that left leg forwards. And once you've found that space, setting your fingertips onto the floor, lengthening the right knee backwards, allowing yourself to stay long with the hips still working to square, trying to wrap that right hip forwards, sending the left hip backwards. Inhale together. As we exhale, bend the elbows, the forehead drop, crown of the head move forwards, torso move down the length of the left thigh. As we rise back up, left hand will just wiggle out a little wider. We'll fall off onto the left hip. And again, working to parallel front shin with the top edge, back shin with the right edge of the mat. Coming into that deer pose, letting your torso move a little more towards the left foot rather than away if there's space. Right forearm to the sole of the foot, interlace the fingers. And allow yourself to melt, if you will, over that left leg. Walking slowly, your hands back towards your body. Keeping the left leg as best as you can, exactly as it is, swinging that right shin around, working to set right heel in front of the left knee, using fingertips to lift and lower the bottom so you can work to find that space. Shins parallel, hips a ways away from the shin so there's some space between the thighs there. And with the feet flexing, allow yourself to fold in the capacity that is available for you right now, and that feels good. If you're able to find the space to rest your head onto something here, see if you can allow that to occur. As we start to rise, left leg will stay. We'll take the right foot, place it outside the left thigh. Right fingertips behind you, left arm rises tall, inhale. And then exhale, hook the elbow. Find that twist over the right shoulder. See if you can allow that right shoulder blade to wrap onto the back, and then push that left elbow into the thigh to lift the chest higher here. Giving yourself one last breath exactly as you are. As we work to come back through center, I'm going to lower down onto the back. So take your hands around your ankles, let yourself lower down. Find this bridge set up. For a moment, just let yourself get heavy. And then from here, we'll press ourselves up and off the floor for bridge pose. So feet pressed down. As you roll the hips up, perhaps the hands interlace behind the back. And you push off the earth, allowing the front body to get longer here. Squeezing the inner thighs towards each other, pushing through those heels. Letting the back of the neck get long. So if the chin's all the way in towards the chest and it feels as though you're compressing through your throat, just move the chin away ever so slightly so you can feel the throat open and breathe a little deeper. And release the hands, allow the hips to lower. From here, start to cross your right ankle over your left thigh, letting that right knee move away from you. As you reach forward, see if you can catch the back of your left hamstring. Flexing through both feet, maybe the head rises off the mat. If that's the case, see if you can draw that leg a little closer towards you, the forehead a little closer to the leg. From here, if this space, extend your left leg. See if you could catch hold the back of your left ankle. Take your right hand to the inside of the right thigh. We'll pull the left leg towards us, push the right knee away from us, and let the head rest down onto the floor. And gently working to release, crossing the right thigh all the way over the left, allowing your knees to fall off to the left-hand side of the mat. Taking your arms out wide. Let's see if you can gaze off towards the right-hand side. Let your legs unravel first, bringing hips back through center, and then crossing left ankle onto the right thigh. With the feet flexed, reaching through to catch the right hamstring. Either staying or letting the head rise off the mat, drawing the leg a little closer to the head a little closer to the leg. And then again, if there's space, extend the right leg. Right hand finds the back of the right ankle, left hand the inside of the left thigh. Push on the left leg, pull on the right leg. Keep those feet flexing and see if a little more length of the spine can ground onto the mat. As we work to release, that left shin will cross all the way over the right. We'll finish off with the twist. Let the hips shuffle to left and allow the knees to fall off to the right-hand side. As the arms spread wide, see if both shoulder blades can still stay grounded. Maybe that means the head shifts off to the left. And gently unravel the legs. Sending your hips back through center, just allowing the knees to draw in towards the chest. Rubbing hands around the shins, lifting head up and off the mat. Final inhale. Then allowing yourself to release. Give yourself the opportunity to find Shavasana. It may only be for a minute. If you have a little longer, I always recommend you stay to allow yourself to be still. to be open to the thoughts that come up without resistance. And take ourselves through the movement practice so that it's a little more natural to be still. So rare throughout the day to find even a moment or two of stillness. So I ask that you embrace this one for as long as you can. And as always, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to watch this video, to move in your body, to allow yourself to be still. I appreciate you being here. I thank you for taking the time, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.